This is like the third time I filmed this intro. Every time I say, hey guys, welcome back, and I do this like head flip thing. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Welcome back to the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. I'm Jessica, your host, and this is a podcast about knitting and fibery fun. There's a little bit of crochet thrown in today, and you may or may not get a glimpse of baby Thatcher today. I just put him down for a nap, so hopefully he'll sleep for an hour or so we can do this podcast and catch up. I realize if you guys watched my last episode, it cut out, like the video cut out for some reason. Apparently you could still hear the audio, but you couldn't see anything I was showing you until the end when you could see clips of Thatcher. So I don't know what was going on. It wasn't really a good way to jump back into podcasting, but it is what it is. So I apologize for any of you who tried to watch last week's episode but couldn't. This is episode 34, and it is almost December, guys. It's crazy. Thatcher turns 7 months. If Thatcher's my new son, he turns 7 months next week. It's crazy. Yeah, so we've been super busy with him. I guess I did a bunch of knitting this week. I just didn't think I did, but I had some like good spells of knitting. I went and sat with a friend at the hospital, and just got to knit on my sock there, and yeah, I've got a lot to show you. So I brought back, let's start with finished objects. I talked about this hat on the last episode, but I realized you guys couldn't see it, so I wanted to show it to you real quick, just so you guys could see, if you were even listening to last week's episode, so you could see what I was talking about. But this is the Beloved hat by Tin Can Knits. It's a little bonnet. It's just super sweet. It's for my friend who's having a little baby girl. It's like that. So it's done with short rows. So you can kind of see right here in the front, there's more length, whereas here it kind of bunches for the back of the neck. And just like that. It was super sweet, super fun to knit. Yeah, I really like it. So I hope they like it. I hope it fits their new baby. I don't know the name, what yarn I used. It was just some stash yarn. The pattern is for, I want to say DK, maybe even worsted. I did it in fingering because it's going to be a brand new baby. I think if I did it again, I would hold the fingering double. It's just pretty dang, like the fabric is pretty loose. Yeah, like see how loose that is? Which I feel like is fine. Their baby's going to be born at the end of December. So this is not going to be, this is just like a wear around the house hat. I mean, I guess they could wear it out, but this is not like the only hat you would wear out in public to keep your baby's head warm when it's snowing. It's just not that warm. But I think like if around the house, you know, if baby's cold, this would be perfect. Or if they're going out and it's not terribly cold. So anyways, this is the finished object from last week that I thought I would re-show. Okay, finished this week. I have 3 goodies. I have 2 girlfriends who I met when I was working at Starbucks, and they have a photography business on the side. And so they took our maternity photos, they took Thatcher's newborn photos, and they just recently did Thatcher's 6-month photos. So I'm hoping to get those back today. But they are doing a photo shoot for a baby who was born prematurely, and the baby's due date was Christmas Eve. So the baby's been in the NICU, and they're hoping to do a photo shoot on Christmas Eve. And they wanted to do it like Christmas themed since Christmas Eve was his due date. And so they asked for if I could make them a Buddy the Elf like hat and diaper cover. So I crocheted one, and I can crochet. I don't really enjoy it, but for photo props, that may or may not just be used a handful of times, and, I'm not charging them for this, so I didn't want to spend a ton of money. This is not like an heirloom piece that the baby's gonna wear, all the time. It's just for this one-time photo shoot. And since the baby was so premature, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. The baby's tiny. So it's not, hopefully the baby's gonna not even fit in this for very long. So with that in mind, I bought some cheap acrylic at Hobby Lobby, and I thought I would just crochet it for time and effectiveness. So I made this little hat, and again, it's Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf. So this is the color of his hat, and then he has this big red feather in it. I knit the feather just because I'm not that good at like winging crochet. I had to follow a pattern to make the hat. Like knitting, I can pretty much make it up as I go if I want to. Crochet, I cannot. I don't have that much experience with crochet, and so I paid for a pattern for the hat and the diaper cover, and then I just made up a feather to go with it, just using some like scrap yarn. But this is just acrylic from Hobby Lobby, like I said. So this is the hat, and then this is the diaper cover, like this. So since I have no idea the size of this baby, and I don't know if the baby is going to be wearing like a disposable diaper underneath or what, it was really hard to figure out where to place buttons. Because normally, okay, let me unbutton it and I'll show you what I did. Normally, you would put buttons here, and then this folds up over the butt, and then the buttons would go through here, so you would see the button on the outside. Well, I thought if they need to make it tighter, like if this is too big of a leg gap, and they need to make it tighter, they can do that. Like they can make it as tight as it needs to be. So like that would be for like skinny legs. You can bring it way out for chunky legs. But if I put the button here where it should go, and they have to make it skinny, then it would be here, and this would just flap. And I thought that wouldn't look, you'd have these two weird flaps if you did it as skinny as possible. So I thought that wouldn't really be ideal for a photo prop. So what I came up with is putting the buttons on the inside, so then they can button it wherever along here, and if they need to, they can button it, like that would be the skinniest, because it's almost off the edge there. And obviously your leg is going to be like that. But they could even overlap these like that, and it still looks super cute and trim. Like it just, with the buttons hidden, I feel like it's going to be way better for a photo prop, and not knowing the size of the baby. There's no real good way to hold it. But yeah, so the back is just like this. In the movie, Elf has a green coat, and then he's got yellow leggings. So I thought the green button band, like kind of around it would be cute with the yellow leggings. And then I just thought it'd be fun to trim it out in green. I don't remember the pattern I used. It was one I paid for on Ravelry. I'll link it in my projects. If you guys are interested in seeing my projects on Ravelry, my name there is Sergeant Griff's Girl. So it's SGT GRIFFS Girl, GIRL. I really try to put all of my project info on Ravelry. What needles I used, like what hook I used, what yarn I used. If I made any modifications to the pattern, I try to write that down. So you guys know. And then also, if I want to replicate that, later on, I know exactly what I did. So I just got these white buttons. They didn't have any green. The green ones they had would either be too big or too small. So I figured you're not going to see them anyways. So I got those. And then I just sewed it on. You can't even really see. Like, you can see here the thread that I used. I did get some green thread, because I thought if I had white thread, you would see it on the outside. So I just bought some green matching thread. And yeah, so it'll be like this. and like that. I think that's super cute. I hope they like it. If they don't and they don't use it, it's no skin off my back. Like I said, I'm not charging them, so they always use what I make, so I think it'll be fine. But if they don't, they can figure something else out and go from there, and it'll be okay. So that was something I finished this week. I'm going to try to get it to her today. Obviously the photo shoot's not till Christmas Eve, but I just want to have it out of my house so I don't lose it with the holidays coming up. So speaking of holidays, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I had this idea that every year I want to knit Thatcher an ornament for a tree. Growing up, we each got an ornament, like each of us girls got an ornament every year. So that way when we left, you know, the house or like during college and we put up our own tree, we would have ornaments. The problem with that is all of my ornaments are like Winnie the Pooh. They're all very childish, you know, obviously like what I liked at that age. But I don't really want to put Winnie the Pooh ornaments on my tree like when I was in college. Now I don't mind because I have Thatcher. So I thought I would make Thatcher some ornaments that are classic, that will look cute on a tree, you know, like when he's married or when he's at college, if guys even put up trees when they're at college. But anyways, I wanted to make him some not childish ornaments so he could have them like heirloom ornaments. So Susan B. Anderson just came out with this pattern called the Little Long Johns. And guys, it is so stinking cute. It's a pair of little long johns. And I need to get some buttons, or not buttons, beads, to put down like right here to act as buttons. And look, it even has a butt flap on the back. Like, how cute is that? So this is the back. This is the front. I think I'm gonna find, like, Hobby Lobby sells these little hangers. So I think I'll put it on a little hanger so that it can go on the tree like that. And then the butt flap should have a bead here and a bead here to act as the buttons to keep the butt flap up. But it was super cute. It was a little fiddly to make because just like a sweater, you know, you start here and then you put the sleeves on waist yarn and you knit down here. Then you have to separate for the legs. So by the time you're doing the first leg, you have these on a holder, these on a holder, this on a holder, and then you're doing this leg. So it's just, I mean, obviously anything this little and this fine is gonna be fiddly, but I would highly recommend the pattern. It's very well written. My only gripe about the pattern is it is written on double pointed needles, and I did this on magic loop. So it just would have been, I mean, I can figure it out, and I did. It would have been a little more helpful if the pattern was written both ways, but it was, you know, she gave directions like on needle 1, do this, and on needle 2, do that. So you really had to think, you know, if you're doing it magic loop, how that would translate, which is fine. But yeah, like, so cute. So that's the front, and that's the back. Like, I just love it. These little cuffs, like, are so cute. So this is his ornament for 2018. I was debating if I wanted, like, on the back somewhere, like maybe on the leg, to embroider the year, you know, so it would say 2018, but I don't think it matters. You know, I'm picturing, like, in 30 years when he has these all on his tree, it won't matter what year I made them in, because they're not, it's not like they're pictures of him, you know, where anybody's gonna care. Like, he's just gonna have a tree full of ornaments, and it won't matter the year. So I think I'm not gonna do that, but I have to go to Hobby Lobby today, so I'm gonna try to get some beads, like little black beads for the button and for the butt flap, and then it'll be done. But the knitting's done, the ends are woven in, and I love it. So that is Thatcher's ornament. Okay, my last finished object. Well, it's not quite finished because it still needs buttons. But I finished Thatcher's sweater. This is the Gramps Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. And again, I loved it. Their patterns are so easy to follow. They're so well thought out. Their patterns go from like, I don't know if 0 to 6 months is the smallest, up to like 5x. So you could do, you know, like all, like your whole entire family, you could have matching sweaters with the same pattern. Obviously I'm not going to do that. I just made Thatcher this one. So this is the Gramps cardigan. It's so hard to hold it up, especially with the camera being over there. Okay, so it has these little elbow patches. It has a pocket. It has this button band, this neckline, like it goes up like that, and then it just folds down. Let me show you the back of it, like that. So I ran out of this blue purpley yarn. I finished the whole body, and look, I was playing yarn chicken. This is all I had left. So I just narrowly finished the body. And then I had plenty of the green. I still have extra green. Like I still have half a skein of the green. So I was debating if I wanted to do a matching hat. I don't know if this is enough to do a hat for Thatcher. He's got a really big head. And if I don't, it's okay. But it's like this. So the pockets are supposed to be in this color, and then just the ribbing would be in the green, so it would match. But obviously since I ran out of the blue, I just did a pocket in the green. And the pattern has pockets on both sides, and I'm not sure if I'll do another pocket or if I'll just have the one pocket. But it's super cute. I love the way the collar is made. Again, it's done with short rows. Guys, if you have never done short rows, they are so less intimidating than they sound. Everybody thinks, you know, short rows are something like super complicated, and it's not. All you're doing is working. So like, you would, you know, this would be the start of your row. You would knit all the way around here, and then when you got to here, and the pattern tells you when to stop, you just stop, you turn your work around, and you go back this way, and then you stop right here, and then you stop a little bit less, and then a little bit less, and so on. And so it builds up. The back of the collar is so much wider than the button band, and that's all you do. You literally stop, you turn your work, and you go back the other way. It's just like if you came to the end of the row and you would turn your work and knit back the other way, but you're not at the end of the row, you're stopping in the middle of the row, or like 3/4 of the way through the row. You're just stopping wherever the pattern tells you to stop, and then turning. So I encourage you, if you've never done short rows, or if you've been intimidated by a pattern that has short rows, go ahead and try it. Especially these tin can knits patterns. They are beginner friendly. It walks you step by step through the short rows, so don't let that discourage you from doing a pattern, whether it's, you know, a cardigan, a sweater, like, or socks, or whatever that has short rows. At least give it a try. It's not as bad as it sounds. So this, I need to get buttons. It has 5 little buttonholes, so they just go down here. So they're just on, oh, it's so hard to hold it. Let me hold it this way. The buttonholes are just from here down, so that way it'll just open up the v-neck. So yeah, I'm super excited to get buttons on it. I've blocked it. It literally just needs buttons and it's done. So I knit I think the 1 to 2 year size, and maybe even the 2 year size. Thatcher is, like I said, he'll be 7 months next week. He's in 18-month clothes, so he's huge. And he's like almost off the charts as far as like percentiles go. You know, they measure babies, so they'll say, oh, he's in like the 50th percentile, or, you know, the 99th. So Thatcher's in the 99.7 percentile. Like, he's almost not even on the chart because he's so big. Yeah, which is just, I find that hilarious. But my husband, Tim, is 6'4", so I figured Thatcher was going to be big. But he's just, like, everywhere we go, people comment on how big he is. Or they think, you know, oh, is he walking? And I'm like, he can't even sit up by himself yet. And the doctor said he's gonna be slower to sit up or slower to crawl because he is so big. You know, he's got such, like, a large body mass that he has to maneuver around. So that made me feel better that he's not, you know, crawling, or he can roll over only when he's, like, really mad. And he rolls, like, if he's on his back, he'll go side to side, but he won't flip over all the way to his tummy. So, yeah, so he's a big boy. And I learned my lesson because all of the hand knits that I made him, he doesn't fit in. I made sweaters for this winter, like when I was still pregnant, and I thought, oh, I'll make the, you know, 6 to 9 month size. He would have fit in those, like, when he was born, but it was summer in the South, so there was no way I was putting wool sweaters on him. Yesterday he did wear this wiener dog sweater that I knit, and I've shown it on the podcast. If he wakes up and I bring him out, I'll put the sweater on him so you guys can see it. He was so cute in this sweater, but it's, like, busting at the seams, like it's pulling apart at the button band because he doesn't really fit in it. So yeah, so I'm hoping the sweater will fit a little bit longer, and yeah, it's either the 1 to 2 or 2 year size. It's no smaller than the 1, but I'm pretty sure I did the 2 year size since he's in 18-month clothes now. What needles did I use? I used my Chogus. These are my 5s. This is part of my interchangeable set. These are my absolute favorite needles. I use them for everything. And then I think I did the cuffs on, like, these 2s. Yeah, size 2s for the cuffs and 5s for the body. So that is that. Like I said, I still have a bit of the green, so I may or may not do a hat for him. I don't think it's enough, but that's okay. He has a blue winter hat anyways, so I think it'll match the sweater, and it's fine. Okay, so these are kept in my Fawn and the Fox bag. It's my Christmas bag. How cute is that? Just with little ornaments. It's a good, like, it's a good size. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, my work in progress. So these are my, okay, sorry. Are in this little bag. I don't think it has a maker, which is a bummer. I don't like when project bag makers don't put their info on the project bags, because this was gifted to me, so I didn't buy it, so I have no idea who it's, like, who made it. I know who gave it to me, but that's not the maker. But it is super cute. It's like fairy tale characters. So there's the king, the royal heir, the princess, the cook, the gardener, the royal pet. On this side, we have the queen, the prince, the knight. Like, it's just super cute. It's whimsical without being too childish. And again, my favorite thing on project bags is these wrist straps. I like being able to carry it. I like being able to hang it up on a hook. You know, if I'm out somewhere so it's not on the floor. Yeah. I like straps on my project bags of some sort. Okay. These are a pair of socks that I'm making for me. They are from Mustache Yarn. I bought these off her website in the color Calaveras. Oops. There, Calaveras. This is her perfect, what does she call them? Must match skeins. So this sock skein is already divided in 2, and they will match perfectly stripe for stripe. Mustache Yarns is Stacy is her name. She's known for her self-striping yarn. It is incredible, guys. And a lot of self-striping yarn I have is like 4 stripes, and then it repeats maybe 5. But this is 4, 8. It's a 12 stripe repeat, and it is so fun. And I'll explain to you guys in a minute why I bought this yarn, and then I decided not to use it for what I was going to use it for. So it turned into socks. Look at how cute these are. I'm doing them toe up, and I'm doing for the first time an Afterthought cut-in heel. So it's going to be a true Afterthought heel in that I did not put, hold on, it's like, I did not put any yarn on waste yarn. Okay, hold on. There. So look how cute that is. So fun. So there's no heel. When you do Afterthought heels, you can do them 2 ways. The first way is when you get to where you want to put the heel in, you knit with waste yarn, and then you knit over that with your yarn, and you keep going. So then, like if I did, you know, like neon green waste yarn, you would see it would be knit in here. And then when you go to put your heel in, you just unpick that neon green, and you've got your live stitches to do your heel. This is a true Afterthought heel in that I'm going to have to cut this yarn to pick up my stitches. So at this point I could put the heel wherever I want to. Like there's no waste yarn. The problem with if you put the heel on waste yarn and then keep knitting, if you decide to move the heel later, you can't do it. It has to be in that one position where you put the waste yarn. So like these are going to be for me. And I wear a size 10 or 11 shoe, so I know where I need to put my heel. If I was going to make them for somebody that had a size, you know, 7 or 8, I would obviously have to move the heel down here. So this is a good way to do it if you're doing gift knitting, and maybe you don't know who the recipient is yet. You can just do it like this, and then once you know their shoe size, you could cut in the heel wherever. So, yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this yarn for the heel or a contrasting color. The problem is, if I do a contrasting color, what color do I do? Because this is so random. And it's glittery. So I would want to do a glittery heel, and I don't have a ton of glittery like solids that I could use. I have a bunch of minis, but they wouldn't be enough to do heels on both socks. So I think I will just do it in this yarn. Obviously the stripes will be different because it'll be fewer stitches, but since I'm doing an Afterthought heel, it'll be okay. The reason I decided to do an Afterthought heel is because I didn't want it to mess up the stripe pattern. I wanted them to be very precise. If you put in a heel, say you put it in here, okay, so like say it's after the pink, well, you're going to use the yellow, you know, the speckled, this one, and maybe some of the orange. So then that means when you're done with your heel and you're starting to knit on your sock again, it's going to skip from pink to like brown. So on the front of the sock where you wouldn't see the heel, it would just go pink to brown, and then it would come back, like the pink would, I don't know, it would mess up the stripe pattern is what I'm trying to say. Not very well. So I still have, this is still how much I have left in this half of a skein. So yeah, so I have plenty. I would start the heel, you know, like back here. I have plenty to do it, but I just stopped. I put it on spare needles. These are not the needles I use to knit with. I don't like these needles at all. But I put it on spare needles until I could decide what I wanted to do with the cuff and the heel. Because if I do a contrasting color for the heel, I would do a contrasting color for the cuff too. So they would match. But I think I'm just going to start the ribbing and do the cuff in this striped. So this is excuse me. This is the first sock. And then I started on the second sock. So I didn't get very far. I just started it, I don't know, the other night. I went with my girlfriend. She is pregnant and had a blood pressure scare. So we went up to Little Rock to the hospital up there to their labor delivery. She got checked in. She's okay now. She got sent home. But we were there for a few hours, just having her hooked up to the machine so they could monitor her. And her husband was at work. And Tim was off so he could watch Thatcher. So I offered to take her. And I just took my socks and I got to sit and knit on them. And that way I could kind of listen to everything they were saying to her, you know, to help her remember. Because sometimes when you're in the hospital, like, doctors come in and they say stuff to you and, you know, you say, okay, like, you understand. And then you get home and you're like, I don't remember what they said. So that way I could be a second set of ears, but I could still knit. So you guys can see these match perfectly. Like, they're exact. So I'm so excited. I keep these in the car just if we get stuck in traffic. And okay, they're doing construction, like they're widening one of the roads that gets us into town, and so sometimes they have the road closed, but you have to like wait. I mean, you have to wait in traffic, but you're not inching along, you're just stopped. And you may be there for like 5 or 10 minutes till they open the road again. And so when I say traffic, I mean like that, like you put the car in park. I'm not doing it when I'm like inching along in 5-mile-an-hour traffic, but if I'm in park, sitting waiting for the traffic to move, I don't mind. So these just stay in my car. They're my car knitting. If we get stuck out somewhere, I have them. Or if Tim drives and I can sit in the back with Thatcher, then I will work on these. So I'm super excited. I don't know if I want to do the cuff now, or if I want to pause, cut in the heel, and then try it on and see how tall I want the cuff to be. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll figure that out. I'm going to knit this one up to this point, and then we'll decide. So, and I'm sorry I'm so nasally. I'm getting over a cold, but I realize it does not sound attractive on the computer. So, again, those are in that bag. And that is my only active work in progress because I finished everything else I was working on. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to put the tag back in the bag. Okay, so I have one acquisition and I have 2 projects I'm going to cast on. So let me take a drink real quick. I'm just drinking cold brew coffee with a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Yeah. Let's do my acquisition since we were just talking about Stacy's yarn. So this is another skein of mustache yarn. This is in the colorway Around the Corner. And again, it's the must match skeins. So it looks like it's one skein, but when I unwrap it, it'll be 2 perfectly matched skeins. I think those colors are so pretty. I can't wait to cast it on. I'm gonna wait until I finish my other pair of mustache yarns, those socks that I just showed, to cast on these, because I think having 2 that are so similar would be boring. Yeah. But okay, so that was my only acquisition. I ordered a package from Knit Picks because for my next project that I'm going to cast on, or my next sweater I'm going to cast on, I didn't think I ordered enough yarn, and so I ordered more, but it's been lost in the mail for over a week. The tracking says it's just on its way to a USPS facility, but like it last checked in Texas sometime last week, like Sunday, Saturday, Friday, and then it's just disappeared since then. So I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I don't know what's happening. And I don't know, like, I contacted Knit Picks to see just, like, what their policy is, and I haven't heard back from them yet, but I don't know, like, I mean, they shipped it fine, I just haven't got it. How long do you give a package that's lost in the mail time before you say, can you send me more yarn? Do they even send more yarn if it's not their fault? I mean, they shipped it fine, so I don't know. But, I want to make a pair of socks for Tim. He wears a size 13, so making socks for him is a huge labor of love, because his feet just go on and on and on. This is also the reason I don't knit him sweaters, because he's 6'4", and so the sweaters have to be huge. But he picked out this skein from my stash. This is Nitty and Color, and it's kind of like Harley Davidson colors. So it's gray, it's got these rust oranges and browns and like blacks in it. It's got some speckles. Like, it's super cool. But I'm sorry, I'm so stuffed up. One skein is not going to be enough to knit him a pair of socks for his size 13 foot. He likes his socks to come up high because he wears work boots. You know, so I can make him a pair of like shorty socks, but he won't ever wear them because he wears boots. So I knew to stretch it, I would have to do cuffs, heels, and toes in a contrasting color. So I found this in my stash of minis. So I think those will go well. It just picks up on that orange there. I have no idea what yarn this is. No idea. But this Nitty and Color, the colorway is burned at both ends. And it's in their hardcore sock base, which is 75/25, and it's 463 yards. So I'm going to cast these on, but I wanted to wait to show it off on the podcast before I cast it on. I was trying to figure out what color would go well as the contrasting color. And the only thing I could think of was black, but I really do not want to knit black heels. Yeah, and then I just happen to have this orange, so I think that goes perfectly. So we'll just do that. So these are going to be Tim socks. After I do the heels, cuffs, and toes, if I have enough of the orange left, how cute would it be to make Thatcher like inverse socks? So Thatcher's socks could be this color, and then I could just steal a little bit of this for Thatcher's heels, cuffs, and toes. Like, and then they could have matching but opposite socks. I think that would be so cute. I made Thatcher like 7 pairs of baby socks. He'd never fit in them. I think I could put them on once to take a picture, but the heel was like sliding off his foot. It did not work well. So I think I'm gonna have to make him the toddler socks when I make him socks, because baby socks do not fit his foot or his feet. Even when I buy commercial baby socks, I have to buy the 12 to 18 month socks because he doesn't fit and because he's a giant. Anyways, alright, last cast on project. This is in my fringe supply bag, and I don't think I've shown off these pins in a while, but okay, let's see. Let's do it over here. Oh, okay, so I've got, this is a little mermaid that says Santa Cruz because that's where I'm from. I have this one that I picked up. I forget the name of their company. You guys might know it. I got that at Stitches West. This one cracks me up. It says, "Not tonight, I'm knitting." This one, that's not showing up very well. It's another Stitches West. It's just like their pin for the show. This one is this little army man for Tim. Then I have this girl who's connected to her skein of yarn. She's knitting. But look, she's knitting sideways. See that? This one is from Ninja Chickens. She made a kid's book, so I ordered that for Thatcher. And it came, and I ordered a pin to go with it. There's, what does it say? But first, Mom Fuel. I think that's super cute. That was a gift in my Christmas swap last year. And then there's just my pin I had to wear, or I wore at Starbucks. Just saying I was a military wife. And then this one is from Legacy Fiber Arts. So, oh, and then on the back I have that little yarn ball. And this one is a garden. Oh. It's like a garden with rows of vegetables, and it says grow your own. So I've started spilling my pins over onto the back. But yeah, super cute. Okay, and it's my yellow fringe bag that I ordered from La Bien-Amie over, I think they're in France. They're somewhere in Europe. So, yeah. I feel like this episode should be sponsored by Mustache Yarns because I'm going to show you a third skein. So, oh, okay. The socks that I'm knitting now, the Calaveras socks. I am going to knit the sock arms sweater pattern, and I want to make one for me and one for Thatcher. And I'm not going to, so the sock arms pattern, it, I was going to look it up, but I won't do that. You guys can look it up. It's sock arms sweater. It's got a solid body, and then you use self-striping yarn for the arms. So you've got, you know, just like stripes going down your arms. And so I was looking on Stacy's website because I wanted to use Mustache Yarns because I've never knit with hers before. And everybody talks about how they love it and how gorgeous it is. So it's on her website, and I fell in love with that Calaveras colorway. But it was too girly to use for Thatcher's. So then I thought, well, I'll just do coordinating. Like, I'll use the same pattern. There's a sock arm kids, and there's a sock arm adults. And then they just came out with a sock arms worsted. But I'd already decided to do it in fingering. So I ordered the Calaveras for me, and then I was going to look through my stash to find some self-striping for Thatcher. And I'd ordered, so this is going to be the body of our sweater. So both Thatcher and I will have the same gray for our sweater. This is just Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the colorway Ash. And I ordered 7, so I have 7 skeins of this. And then I decided that might not be enough for a sweater for my size. And I'm going to have to knit like the 2-year-old size for Thatcher. And I really don't want to run out of yarn. I want to make Thatcher's first. So if I started with my sweater and I used 7 skeins on mine, then I could do Thatcher's in a different color. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But I want to start with Thatcher's. So say his uses like 2 or 3. Well, then I'm left with 4 skeins. That's not enough for me. You know, so then what do you do with those 4 skeins? So I thought I would just order some more. You know, I'd rather have extra. It's relatively inexpensive on Knit Picks. But that's the package that's lost in the mail. So we'll see. But yeah, I want to start with Thatcher's. So we're both going to have this gray for the body. And then I have this for Thatcher's. Let me open it. This is Lollipop Yarn. I'll show it to you before I open it. Lollipop Yarn. Her color, or their colorway, is Baby It's Cold Outside. So it's self-striping. There's 5 rows in Blizzard, Flurry, and Freeze, all surrounded by 3 rows of Chill. Now, granted, it won't be that many rows because they're giving you how many rows it is if you're making socks. Obviously, I won't. So this is the mini that comes with it. I won't be using this because I have the gray. But this is his color. So how cute is that? So it's like, I don't know, there's blue, blue, and like a blue gray, and then gray. Sorry, I'm like pointing to it down here. Yeah, like that. So these will be Thatcher's arms on his sweater, and then this will be the body. I just think that'll be so cute. And then, so that's Thatcher's. Let me put it back in the bag so I don't lose it. Ooh, doesn't want to go back in. Okay. Mine is Mustache. And I decided to use this one because it's yellow and gray. And so it'll go perfectly with this. But then it'll also coordinate well because Thatcher's will be blue and gray stripes. And mine will be yellow and gray. So I just thought this went better for my sweater than that Calaveras would in a sweater. So this is Mustache. Again, it's her... Oh, these were called OCD. Two perfectly matched half skeins twisted together. So she must have changed her, like, the title of it from OCD to the Must Match skeins. But the colorway is in the Grello, like gray-yellow Grello. And it's 10 even stripes. It's a 75-25 merino nylon and 440 yards. So, I doubt this will be enough yarn to knit me 2 full-length sleeves. But that's fine because I rarely wear full-length sleeves anyways. I always end up like pushing them up to, you know, whatever, 3/4. So these are perfect because since they are, the skein is already split in half. So I can cast on for both sleeves and I can just knit until the skein runs out and then they'll be the same length. And it'll match. So I'll just stop wherever the skein ends is where I'll stop for my sweater sleeves. And then I can, if it ends like here, where it's an awkward length, then I can just make a long cuff with the gray, and it'll be fine. But if it ends here, you know, like here, or at my elbow, I'll just do a normal size cuff, and then I will have shorter sleeves. So I'll see how far I can get with half a skein of sock yarn for each arm. My arms, I have big arms, which is why I don't think it'll last very long. But I'm excited to see. So like I said, I'm going to cast on Thatcher's first because I just finished that other sweater for him. So I want to make him another one. Yeah. So that is all I have. This week coming up, I have my socks to work on. I have Tim's socks to cast on, and I have Thatcher's gray sweater to cast on. And you guys know how Knit Picks is. They get you because they say free shipping if you spend, I think now it's up to $65. It used to be $50, got you free shipping. I think when I was on it today looking, like tracking my lost package, it said 65 or over is free shipping. So I think I ordered maybe another 5 or 7 balls of the gray. Which I'm sure is going to be way too much, but I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather have too many. But then, so I was ordering those, and as you do, you get to looking. There has been this sweater that I fell in love with ever since Amber of the Yarn Hoarder podcast made it for her daughter. It's the Professor Meow sweater, and it is like this big sweater with a cat face on it, and it is super cute. I'm sure it's more childish, you know, than what I should be wearing, but I think it's so cute, and I wanted to make it. It was on my queue, and Knit Picks had the kit for it, so it included all the yarn and the pattern to make it, and so I thought, well, you know, you might as well order that yarn. It comes with the pattern, and then it'll get me to free shipping, so I ordered that, plus the gray. So that's coming, so then I will have another sweater to cast on, even though I have like 5 on the needles right now. But yeah, so I'm going to skein up Tim's socks. I'm going to maybe cast on for Thatcher's sweater and work on my socks this week. I think that'll keep me busy enough. Yeah, that's all the knitting. If you guys don't want to hear about life updates, then you are free to go. I know I've said a lot of life updates during the episode, but thank you for sticking around. If you're just interested in the knitting, then yeah, I will hopefully see you guys next week. Okay, life updates. I'm trying to kind of stall to see if Thatcher will wake up, but I'll talk a little bit and then I'll just stop the video, and when he wakes up I can try to take a video of him in his little wiener dog sweater. But yeah, what did we do this week? We were going to go, our botanical gardens put on a huge Christmas display, and so we were going to go do that last night, but it was supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain today, like it's supposed to be pouring right now. It just looks foggy and dreary and nasty outside. So I don't know what the weather's going to be doing, but it was supposed to be like pretty severe, you know, like stay inside, hunker down weather. but it's okay right now. So we'll see if that gets pushed off to later or what that wants to do. I know what I'll tell you guys. Okay, so with Thatcher, well, in general, we really try not to use a lot of plastic. I try, like when I go to the grocery store, I take my reusable bags. Like our Tupperware is glassware. The lids are plastic, but the bowls are glass. Like we drink out of mason jars. All of Thatcher's baby food that I make, I put it in mason jars, so it's in like little baby glass mason jars. We just try not to use plastic if we don't have to. I'm looking like down at Thatcher's toy mat. So as Christmas is coming, and I've been thinking about, you know, like things I want to get for Thatcher. Obviously, he has no idea what Christmas is. He's not even at the age where like he can help open a present. You know, he pretty much lays there and like plays with his toys. There's like a chicken or something knocking at the door. So it's not like we have to get him anything because he has no concept of what Christmas is, of what gifts are. He just knows that things appear in front of his face and he plays with them. But I have been wanting to get him stuff because we struggled with infertility for so long, and so now we finally have a baby, and I will be, you know, like, I'm going to buy him Christmas gifts. So I have been really, like, doing my research and trying to find non-plastic options for Thatcher. So, like, I still want him to have, you know, all of the normal baby things. We have 0 toys with batteries. We have 0 toys that light up. I don't want things that entertain him. Like, I want him to have to work for it. So, there's nothing, like his little bouncy chair vibrates, you know, so it has batteries. But he has no toys that, like, he hits a button and lights play or music plays. He has to do everything himself. So, like, right here next to me is this little Rattle. I'll try to hold it so it doesn't get too noisy. But it's simple. I had one of these as a kid. It's classic. It's called a bell rattle, obviously. But this way, he learns, oh, if I tip it, that whatever's in there makes noise. So he learns cause and effect. He learns that he's making the noise. He is actively doing something to produce a outcome, if that makes sense. Whether he does it on accident or on purpose, he is making that noise. Whereas if you have a baby toy and they just press a button and it sings a song to them, they're learning if they press the button, it plays a song, but they're not learning, like, where, I don't know how to describe it. It's just magical that they press the button and a song plays. Whereas this, you know, they can, obviously he can't understand right now because he's not even 7 months. But when he's older, he can see that that bell is what makes the noise, you know, and he makes it make noise. And so he can make it, you know, go faster, go slow, whereas a button that you press, it just plays the one song, and you can't manipulate it like you can with this. So this is the kind of things we are buying for Thatcher. But since we just had Black Friday, there was a ton of sales, just on the toys, you know, like there's certain companies that I love. I love Grimms. It's Grimms. They make, sorry, I'm moving the table over. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys just had an earthquake. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. So, Grimms is famous for these. These are their wooden rainbows, and I did not get this as a Christmas present. I bought this a while ago. But, they all come, you know, apart like that. And it is, I think it's beechwood, but what's cool about it is it's not just a rainbow that sits on your shelf. I mean, it can be. Like, it's really cute on our shelf. But then when he's older and, like, he's playing with trucks, these can be tunnels for the trucks to go under. He can turn it upside down, and it's like a rocking boat. They stack, well, let's see, if you have, like, you know, you can stack them like this and make towers out of them. There's just so much you can do. You know, they can be like circles. You could, you know, they can be fences for your animals when they're on the ground like this. It's just open-ended play, and it's wooden. Right now, he likes to chew on the wood, or like suck on the wood because he has no teeth. And it's all made with non-toxic paint, so I'm not worried about him putting it in his mouth. But yeah, so this is one of my favorite companies. And I love that it's classic. It is not some plasticky thing that has really moved in you. There you go. You know, like, I'm hoping he'll be able to hand this down to his kids. Oh, look, there's a ladybug. Or, like, any future kids, you know, can play with this. Like, this is built to last. So, I have some things on order from them because they were having, or the stores that sell, you know, this company, it's made in Germany. They were having Black Friday sales, so I took advantage of that. Yesterday, another company I really like is Holz Tiger. It's Holz Tiger, Tiger. And again, they're another company from Germany, and they make these wooden toys. So this is a little rooster. I love it. It's hand carved, hand painted. So I got a rooster, I got a lion, an elephant, and a hedgehog. So the elephant's in the bedroom because he was playing with it. And the hedgehog, I'm not going to let him play with just yet. It's smaller. This rooster, he cannot, I mean, he can fit like the head in his mouth. There's absolutely no way this can get stuck in his mouth. The hedgehog is like little, and so I'm not sure if he could put it in his mouth, but I'm not going to take any chances. So the hedgehog will just go in the toy bin, you know, until he's a little bit older and not in that stage of putting everything in his mouth. So I just got 4 of these guys. We're trying to, like, every, you know, occasion, just buy him one, maybe like one a month. So that way, you know, he just builds up a little stash of these wooden toys. So yeah, they're so smooth. Like, there's nothing, you know, baby's not going to get a sliver from it. You just look at his, I mean, he's like got such attitude. Look at that. Oh, like he's just like, you know, like scowling at you. I think it's so fun. Little rooster and like his little beak. So this is the kind of stuff I'm trying to buy for Thatcher. And yeah. So those came in the mail yesterday. We were super excited. I think that was pretty much all that we've done this week. Is not much. Not much at all, besides get excited for the mail to come. Yesterday we went out to dinner. It was really nice. Tim was off. Tim works like a 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off schedule. So today's Friday, so he works this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But then next weekend he'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we can't do, like, it's not like every Friday I look forward to having him home for the weekend, because this is his long weekend. So he'll be working like every day this weekend. But he was off, yes, like Wednesday and Thursday. So we got to go run some errands yesterday, and we went out to dinner. And Thatcher is like a bottomless tank. On the way to dinner, he had 2 bottles. And so I thought for sure, you know, he's going to be full. It was his bedtime, and so I thought, we took the stroller thinking he'll just sit in the stroller, he'll fall asleep, you know, and Tim and I can eat our dinner, because normally Thatcher's awake if we go out, and so it doesn't really work. So that was my plan. That was not Thatcher's plan. Thatcher fell asleep for like 5 minutes, and then woke up because the restaurant was just so interesting, and he flirts with everybody. So he's flirting with the ladies at the table next to us, you know, and with the waiter. Thatcher just wants people to talk to him. Like, that's all he wants. So Thatcher woke up. He ate a whole jar of baby food. Earlier that day, I'd made him some strawberry applesauce. So he ate that on top of his 2 bottles, and then on the way home, he had another bottle. So this kid is like a bottomless pit. Like, I don't even know how he fits it all in his stomach, because he can put away some food. I have been making all of Thatcher's baby food, except now that he's starting to eat, like, crackers and stuff, I'm not making those. So I got him, like, saltines to gnaw on. And he has some, like, organic baby crackers, you know, that just dissolve in your mouth, so I don't have to worry about him choking. But otherwise, I make all of his baby food. So, we do vegetables, we do fruit, we do you know, like, fruit and vegetables. You know, he likes butternut squash, he loves applesauce, he likes green beans, peas, carrots, he likes pretty much everything. Eggs, we give him eggs. I tried to give him scrambled eggs this week. He did not go for it. He wants, like, he's used to eating purees, and so, the scrambled eggs, like, even though I chop them up so there's no way he can choke on them, when, like, the chunks hit the back of his throat, he just, like, you know, like, pretends to gag. But then he swallows it, and he's like, oh, like, that was kind of good. But I ended up having to puree the scrambled eggs and then mix it with applesauce so he would eat it. It sounds disgusting, but he thought it was delicious. So, anyways, I think that was pretty much it this week. It was pretty boring. We just stayed home, except for yesterday, running errands, and hung out with Tim. Oh, Tim babysat while I went to the hospital with my friend. I had to get a crown put on my tooth, and so Tim babysat, well, Tim stayed home with Thatcher while I went to the dentist and got my crown put on. Yeah, I think that was it. So, I don't want to ramble just to the point of rambling. It's already been an hour, 2 minutes. So, I'm going to cut out here, and then I'll just kind of, once Thatcher wakes up, I'll bring him back out so you guys can see him. Because some of you are just here for Thatcher, which is fine. So, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in a second with Thatcher. Alright, take care, y'all. Bye. Is that a good cracker? Is that a good cracker? Thatcher? What you doing? Are you eating breakfast? Are you learning how to feed yourself? Look, do you want this big one? Take it. Your pajamas kind of get in the way, huh? You ready? Touch it. My ear. Touch her.